here. Oof. Very well organized.
I got just a chair here early, just so.
Very good.
If that's okay. Do you know?
This is you.
Sí, sí.
Yeah, well, this is mine. I don't know who's this. You can check it out, or you can just take it out. Oh, I'll keep it underneath. Do you have the other ones? Okay, each have, I mean, the other waves, please. There's more space here. This is me and this is you. This is you. This flow is for you. This, You definitely don't want to sit here.
I'm sorry?
You definitely don't want to sit here. Oh, sorry. You definitely don't want to sit here.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I can.
There's a spot here.
Are you going to sit here?
Is it okay?
Yes, of course, thank you. We just need to organize a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. So let's begin by developing a good motivation for doing these prayers and practices. So of course we're here to pray for the quick return of Rinpoche's incarnation, that it may be a perfect incarnation, able to carry on the incredible work that Rinpoche did in this life and expand it even further to benefit more and more sentient beings and to benefit us once again, but also more and more sentient beings, not only human sentient beings, but sentient beings in all the different realms of existence. But then on top of that, we also generate bodhicitta, thinking that we're here to do these practices for all beings everywhere. Think for a moment of all the different realms of existence and how much suffering there is in each realm and how many beings there are. Rinpoche always reminded us they're numberless, and not only numberless in this one universe, but numberless throughout the many universes. And so we're here to do these practices that we ourselves may transform our minds into love and compassion and bodhicitta, and also that we may generate the wisdom realizing emptiness, that we ourselves may become just like Rinpoche, a perfect guide, perfect source of inspiration, perfect source of the Mahayana teachings, a perfect example of bodhicitta in action. So we try and keep this strong motivation, thinking to do these practices for all beings everywhere. And the Rinpoche may quickly return to guide all of us and to be able to benefit all the sentient beings in the 6 realms of existence, now and continuing on into the future until every single sentient being has been released from the oceans of samsaric sufferings and has achieved their own perfect state of liberation or enlightenment. So we can bring here into this room our parents, the members of our family, all of Rinpoche's disciples, people who would love to be here but cannot be here for various reasons. And think that we're doing this practice together with them, that they're reciting these prayers together with us. So we're going to begin on page 6 of the Kopan prayer book by praising Shakyamuni Buddha, as well as the Dharma and the Sangha. Guru, teacher, Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly complete Buddha, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of beings to be subdued, teacher of gods and humans, to you, Buddha Bhagavan, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. Guru, teacher, Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly complete Buddha, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of beings to be subdued, teacher of gods and humans, to you, Buddha Bhagavan, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. Guru, teacher, Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly complete Buddha, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of beings to be subdued, teacher of gods and humans, to you, Buddha Bhagavan, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When supreme among humans you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Savior, to you I prostrate. With the supreme science, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Teacher having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Do not commit any unwholesome actions, engage in perfect wholesome actions, subdue one's own mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. a star, a defective view, a butter lamp flame, an illusion, a dewdrop, a water bubble, a dream, lightning, a cloud. See all causative phenomena like this. By these merits may transmigrated beings attain the state of all-seeing, subdue the enemy of faults, and be freed from the ocean of samsara, disturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. So then we will do the foundation of all good qualities, which is on page 20. Page 20. So we keep the field of merit in front of us, Buddha Shakyamuni, and all the holy beings, all of whom are one with our root guru. Is our root guru manifesting in all these different forms in order to guide us, in order to benefit sentient beings. And we ask for blessings to be able to realize the stages of the path to enlightenment, to be able to transform our minds into guru devotion, into realizations of perfect human rebirth, and so on, up to unification of clear light in the illusory body. Foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect guru. Correctly following the guru is the root of the path. By my clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon the guru with great respect. When I have discovered that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is extremely difficult to find again, and is greatly meaningful, please bless me to unceasingly generate the mind taking its essence day and night. This body and life are changing like a water bubble. Remember how quickly they perish and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of black and white karma follow. When I have found definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be conscientious in abandoning even the slightest collection of shortcomings and accomplishing all virtuous deeds. When I have recognized the shortcomings of samsaric perfections, there is no satisfaction in enjoying them. They are the door to all suffering, and they cannot be trusted. Please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Through my being led by this pure thought, with great remembrance, alertness, and conscientiousness, please bless me to make keeping the individual liberation vows, the root of the teachings, my essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother transmigratory beings. By my seeing this, please bless me to train in supreme bodhicitta, which bears the responsibility of freeing transmigratory beings. Even if I develop only bodhicitta, without familiarizing myself with the three types of morality, I cannot achieve enlightenment. By my seeing this well, please bless me to keep the vow of the sons of the victorious ones with fervent effort. By my having pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to quickly generate within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. When I have become a suitable vessel by training in the common path, please bless me to immediately enter the holy gateway of the fortunate beings, the supreme of all vehicles of Vajrayana. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping my vows and samayas purely. When I have gained effortless conviction in this, please bless me to protect them even at the cost of my life. Then, when I have realized exactly the vital points of the two stages, the essence of the tantric sets, and am enjoying the yoga 4 sessions with effort, without being distracted by non-meditation objects, please bless me to accomplish these according to the teachings of the holy beings. Thus may the virtuous friends who reveal the noble path and the spiritual practitioners who correctly accomplish it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely the collections of outer and inner obstacles. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma, and by completing the qualities of grounds and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajrayana. So we think for a moment that all the blessings of the field of merit are entering us, washing away all our obstacles to achieving the Lamrim realizations. And then filling us with these realizations, and in particular renunciation, bodhicitta, and the right view of emptiness. And then we go to page 89. 89.
So, would people mind sharing? If you see somebody doesn't have a text beside you, would you mind sharing with them?
So we begin by visualizing Chenrezig, thousand-armed Chenrezig, in front of us or above the crown of our head. Chenrezig is inseparable from our root guru. This is our root guru manifesting in the form of Chenrezig to help us overcome our self-cherishing thought and develop bodhicitta. And then at Chenrezig heart is the syllable Kri. So as we do the verses one by one, we will pause at the end of each one to visualize that rays of light come from Chenrezig's body, purify our obscurations, in particular our self-cherishing thought, and then fill us with the realization of that meaning of the particular verse that we just recited. Okay, so we try and keep Chenrezig very present. Of course, Chenrezig is here, our Holy Guru is here. So we can visualize Chenrezig even in the place of Rinpoche's holy body. The rays of light come out not only purifying our own obscurations and self-cherishing thought, but those of all sentient beings. So we can imagine rays of light radiating from Rinpoche's holy body in the form of Chenrezig to all the beings in the 6 realms of existence. We try and keep that visualization strong as we do this practice. So we can read the verse together. Determined to obtain the greatest possible benefit from all sentient beings who are more precious than a wish-fulfilling jewel, I hold them most dear at all times. So we imagine that the blissful white nectar coming from the Kri at Chenrezig heart and from every pore of his holy body purifies all our obscurations, especially our self-cherishing thought, that prevents us from holding others most dear. And again, we can think of ourselves surrounded by all beings, our parents, our family members, our friends, all our Dharma friends, and all beings, and they're also receiving these purifying rays of light and nectar. It's also purifying their self-cherishing thought, liberating them from the terrible torture of the self-cherishing thought. And then and filling us then with the realizations, especially of loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, the mind that holds all beings dear. Wherever I am and whoever I am with, I always consider myself the lowest of all, and from the depths of my heart hold others dear and supreme. So again, we visualize the white light and nectar coming from Chenrezig's holy body, purifying all our own and others' obscurations, especially the self-cherishing thought that prevents us from considering ourselves to be the lowest of all and prevents us from holding others dear and supreme. And then the white light and nectar bring us the realizations of loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. And with bodhicitta, we become able to see ourselves as the lowest of all and to hold others dear and supreme. In all actions, I examine my mental continuum, and the minute a delusion arises, since it endangers myself and others, I forcefully confront and avert it. White light and nectar flows from Chenrezig's holy body. Chenrezig, who is one with our root guru, purifying all our obscurations, particularly our self-cherishing thought, that prevents us from seeing and averting, turning away our delusions the minute they arise. As the white light and nectar continue to flow, it brings us the realizations of the path to enlightenment, and in particular, loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. But also the wisdom realizing emptiness, which is what actually seizes all the delusions. Whenever I see sentient beings who are wicked in nature and overwhelmed by negative actions and heavy suffering, I hold such rare ones dear, as if I had found a precious treasure. The rays of white light and nectar flow from Chenrezig's holy body, purifying all our obscurations, in particular our self-cherishing thought, which is what prevents us from holding wicked sentient beings as dear, which prevents us from saying how fortunate it is to meet with difficult beings. Imagine being able to see all the difficult people in our lives as something dear, like a treasure, something we hold precious and cherish. And then the white light and nectar bring us the realizations of loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. And with bodhicitta, we're able to see all difficult sentient beings as a cherished treasure of immense value to us in our spiritual practice. When out of envy others mistreat us with abuse, insults, or the like, I accept defeat and offer the victory to them. So this blissful white light and nectar purifies all our obscurations, especially our self-cherishing thought, which is what prevents us from accepting defeat and offering the victory to others. Imagine ourselves being filled with humility, this ability to set aside our egos, accept the difficult situations, the difficult people in our lives, and instead of fighting for our own benefit, defending ourselves, we give the victory to them. And then the white light and nectar bring us the realizations of loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta. And with that, we're able to accept the defeat and offer the victory to others. When someone whom I have benefited and whom I have great hopes gives me terrible harm, I regard them as my virtuous friends. So again, we think about how it's our self-cherishing thought that prevents us from doing this. Instead, when people give us harm, and when we expected them instead to give us help, we become very hurt, very upset, very angry. All this is due to our self-cherishing thought. So imagine the white light and nectar washing away the self-cherishing thought. In its place, we're filled with loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta. It's able to receive harm with patience, and even more than that, to see these harmful beings as our virtuous spiritual friends. giving us the opportunity to transform our mind into patience, love, compassion, bodhicitta. In short, both directly and indirectly, I offer every happiness and benefit to all my mothers. I secretly take upon myself all their harms and sufferings. So here we imagine the white light and nectar flowing from Chenrezig's holy body, washing away our self-cherishing thought, which thinks only of our own happiness and thinks about how to alleviate our own suffering. In its place come the realizations of loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, which is able to take upon ourselves others' suffering and give our happiness to them. Also, I do not defile all these practices with the stains of the superstitions of the 8 worldly concerns, and by knowing all phenomena to be illusory, without trusting them, I am free from bondage. So here again we imagine the white light and nectar coming from Chenrezig's holy body, purifying our obscurations, particularly our self-cherishing thought, which is what causes us to have the 8 worldly concerns. And it also is based on the ignorance that misperceives the reality of how we ourselves and others exist. All our 8 worldly concerns, all our ignorance holding to true existence, completely washed away by the white light and nectar. And in their place comes the realizations of love, of compassion, of bodhicitta, and of the wisdom realizing emptiness. Which is what needs to happen in order for us to achieve the fully enlightened state of a Buddha and be able to guide others to that same state. So we finish this practice by reciting the request at the bottom of page 91. Great Compassionate One, please extend your holy hand and lead me and all other sentient beings to your blissful pure realm after this life. Be our virtuous friend in all our lives and quickly lead us to Buddhahood. So we can think that Chenrezig, our holy guru, our root guru, in the form of Chenrezig, accepts our requests to take care of us in this life and after this life, to be our virtuous friend in all our lives, and to quickly lead us to Buddhahood. We feel how incredibly fortunate we are to have met a perfect guide in this life, and that we will once again be guided by a perfect guide. So now we're going to recite the praise to dependent arising. So this is a praise that Lama Tsongkhapa wrote to Buddha Shakyamuni, praising him for having taught dependent arising. So we all know the incredible qualities of Lama Tsongkhapa, so if Lama Tsongkhapa praised Buddha Shakyamuni Buddha, we of course need to praise Buddha Shakyamuni. So we join Lama Tsongkhapa in praising Buddha Shakyamuni for his incredible teachings on emptiness and dependent arising, which is what liberates us and all beings from the oceans of suffering of samsara. Homage to my Guru, the youthful Manjushri. Seeing and speaking of dependent arising, he was wisdom supreme, teacher supreme. I bow to him who knew and taught the all-conquering dependent arising. Of the suffering existing in the world, its root is none other than ignorance. The understanding to kill this root, you said, is none other than dependent arising. How could those of intelligence not see dependent arising as the heart of your doctrine? Where is greater praise of you, therefore, than in praise of dependent arising? Whatever depends on circumstance is empty of nature. What greater teaching is there than this? The foolish, however, seize on it and only tighten chains of extreme views, while for the wise it cuts entangled nets of fabrication. This teaching is not seen in the works of others. The title of teacher, therefore, is yours alone. Given to others, it is but the hollow flattery of a fox being hailed a lion. Greatest of teachers, greatest protector, speaker supreme, guide supreme, I bow to the teacher of dependent arising. Benevolent teacher, you taught to help all living beings. Emptiness is essence of those teachings, its highest proof dependent arising. Those claiming it proves the opposite, those denying its very existence, how will they grasp your teachings? For you, emptiness seen as dependent arising does not render as contradictory emptiness of self-nature and ability to function. To hold to the opposite, however, that with emptiness there can be no function, and with function no emptiness, is to fall into a dangerous trap. In your teachings, therefore, knowledge of dependent arising is highly praised, but it will not be known to views of self or non-existence. Non-dependence, you have said, is like the sky flower. Non-dependence, therefore, does not exist. Anything existent by its own nature contradicts existence by cause and circumstance. Nothing is not dependently arising. Nothing, therefore, is not empty of self-nature. Self-nature, you said, cannot be destroyed. Phenomena, therefore, possessed of nature would render nirvana impossible. Samsara, likewise, would have no end. You spoke, therefore, the roar of a lion, again and again on this absence of nature, and amid the assemblies of the wise who dared to challenge you. The absence of self-nature anywhere, this arising because of that. Both presentations are true, and what need to say that both come together without contradiction? Moreover, by reason of dependent arising, one will not depend on extreme views. This is the excellent teaching, my protector, that renders you orator supreme. All this by nature is empty, and this arises from that. Such realizations do not hinder, but mutually complement. What is more wonderful, more astonishing than that? Praising you this way is praise indeed. All other praise is lesser. That some, hostile to you, held as the slaves of ignorance, are unable to bear the sounds of no self-nature comes as no surprise. That others, accepting dependent arising, the crown jewel of your teaching, are unable to tolerate the roar of emptiness does surprise me. If by the very name of dependent arising, gateway supreme to no self-nature is asserted, how will they be led to that noble path that pleases you, the incomparable highway well traveled by exalted beings? Self-nature, real and non-dependent, dependent arising, unreal and of dependent nature. How, without contradiction, could these two ever come together? Consequently, that which dependently arises has forever been empty and void of nature. Things, however, do not appear that way. All this, you have said, is therefore like an illusion. Others may attack your teaching, but there will never be any match. Such claims are validated by dependent arising. How? Because its explanation casts away all possibility of flawed assertion and faulty denial of all phenomena evident or hidden. The very path of dependent arising, the reason for seeing your words as unparalleled, generates conviction in the validity of other teachings. Having seen the truth, you taught it. Those following you will leave all troubles far behind, for they will cut to the root of every fault. Those who, however, aside your teachings, though they practice long and hard, are those who beckon back faults, for they are welded to views of self. Ah, when the wise see the difference, how could they not revere you from the very depths of their hearts? What need to talk of many teachings? The simplest conviction in just a single part brings on the greatest of joy. Alas, my mind is ruined by ignorance. For so long have I gone for refuge to this great store of meritorious qualities, yet not a single one do I possess. As yet, however, my life has not slipped between the jaws of the Lord of Death, and having a modicum of faith in you, I do consider myself fortunate. Among teachers, the teacher of dependent arising. Among knowledge, knowledge of dependent arising. These two, like a mighty conqueror in the world, you know to be supreme where others do not. All that you have taught proceeds from dependent arising, its purpose the transcending of suffering. Nothing you do therefore is not for peace. Your teachings, those whose ears they fall upon will all find peace. Who therefore would not hold them dear? Across their breath no contradiction, opponents' arguments all destroyed, fulfilling the two aims of living beings. My joy in these teachings grows and grows. For this knowledge you gave away over countless aeons again and again, your loved ones, your possessions, sometimes your body, other times your life. Seeing such qualities, I am drawn by your mind like a fish on the hook, not hearing your Dharma for you in person, such misfortune. By the pain of such sorrow, my mind will never give you up, like the mind of a mother for a precious child. And yet as I think on your words, hear you talk of this and that, teach you with a voice melodic as Brahma, resplendent with features of perfection, encircled by garlands of light. Your enlightened form reflects in my mind, like the cool light of the moon, medicine for my feverish torment. Those unwise in this wonderful doctrine were confused and tangled like powdered grass. Seeing this, I followed with diligence the great scholars, seeking again and again your thoughts, poring over many works of ours and others' tradition, yet still my mind was torn by doubts. When, with the kindness of my lamas, I saw this unsurpassed vehicle of yours leaving behind extremes of existence and non-existence, elucidated by the prophesied Nagarjuna, his lotus grove illuminated by the moonlight of the glorious Chandrakirti's teachings, whose globe of stainless wisdom moved freely through the sky of your words, dispelling the darkness that holds to extremes, outshining the stars of false speakers. It was then that my mind found its peace. Of all Buddha's deeds, his words were the greatest, and they were words of dependent arising. Let the wise therefore remember him this way. Becoming ordained into the way of the Buddha, by not being lax in study of his words, and by yoga practice of great resolve, this monk devotes himself to that great purveyor of truth. In the kindness of my lamas, I have met the teachings of the greatest of teachers. I dedicate this virtue, therefore, for every living being to be nourished by true spiritual friends. I pray that the teachings of He who is solely benevolent remain unscattered by the winds of false views until the end of time, and with faith in the Buddha gained from understanding their essential nature, may they pervade forever. In all my births, even at the cost of my life, may I never falter nor shrink from working for the wonderful doctrine of the mighty Buddha, who showed clearly the nature of dependent arising. I pray that I pass my days and nights in thinking how I might spread this Dharma, born from the heroic perseverance in the face of countless hardships of this supreme guide. I pursue these endeavors wholeheartedly and sincerely. May I be supported constantly by Brahma, Indra, Mahakala, the four guardians of the world, and all other protectors. So now we're going to do the chanting the names of Manjushri in a separate booklet. So this is a teaching requested by Vajradhara in the form of Vajrapani to Buddha Shakyamuni, asking Buddha to describe the qualities of Manjushri, the Buddha of wisdom. And so the Buddha responded by this list of names or epithets, titles, words of honor, showing the qualities of Manjushri. And whilst many of these qualities are very easy to understand, other ones are very much related to highest Yoga Tantra, to the secret teachings of Tantra. And so to understand all of them, we would need to understand all the details of highest Yoga Tantra, and especially the completion stage teachings. So we can imagine ourselves also making this request to Buddha, and together with Vajradhara, to outline or describe the many qualities of the Buddha of wisdom, Manjushri. And we can think that all of these are qualities embodied in our root guru, all qualities possessed by Rinpoche. And so as we're reading the list of qualities, the names of Manjushri, we can think that we're actually describing Rinpoche, describing those qualities that were evident to us, but also describing the secret qualities that are only known to other Buddhas. So we can recite this, chanting the names of Manjushri as a praise of Rinpoche and his qualities, in honor of him. In the Indian language, Arya Manjushri Nama Sangiti. In Tibetan, Pagpa Jampa Gitsen Yang Dakbar Jupa. In English, chanting the names of the noble Manjushri. Homage to ever youthful Manjushri. So 1, the request. Then Vajradhara, ever glorious, supreme subduer of the hard to tame, the hero conquering the triple world, the Vajra Lord and master of all secrets, with eyes wide open like white lotuses, his face just like a lily in full bloom, while shaking in his hand repeatedly a Vajra of the highest excellence, accompanied by countless Vajrapanis, with features such as fierce turbulent brows, subduers of the hard to tame, heroes appearing with heroic hideous forms, brandishing in their hands their mighty Vajras, the tips of which emit intensive light, great benefactors to all living beings, through skill, through insight, and through great compassion. With pleased and happy attitudes, with joy, their bodies those of wrathful deities, protectors who assist the Buddha's deeds, their bodies bowing reverentially, paid homage to the true awakened one, protector, blessed one, Tathagata, and joining his 2 palms respectfully, he said before the Lord the following: O omnipresent Lord, for my well-being, with due concern for me and for my sake, that I may reach complete awakening upon the basis of illusion's net, and for the sake of every living being, sunk deep into the mud of ignorance, their thoughts disturbed by various afflictions, so that they may attain the highest fruit. May you, the most supreme awakened one, the blessed one, the world's guru and teacher, who knows the great Samaya's reality, aware of wishes and abilities, reveal to us the great name chanting of the wisdom body of the Blessed One, the great Ushnisha, master of all speech, the self-realizing wisdom emanation, the wisdom deity called Manjushri, these names with meaning both profound and vast, of great significance, unmatched, serene, with goodness at their start, middle, and end, proclaimed by Buddhas of the aeons past, and to be taught by Buddhas yet to come, and taught not once but time and time again by all the Buddhas of the present age, which were respectfully recited in illusion's net, the Tantra most supreme, by multitudes of mighty Vajrapanis, the joyous guardians of secret mantras. And thus shall I uphold with firm resolve until I reach my final liberation, so that I may become, O protector, the bearer of the Buddha's every secret. And this I shall reveal to living beings according to each one's capacity, in order that afflictions may be quelled, so ignorance may fully be dispelled. With this request to the Tathagata, the master of all secrets, Vajrapani, his body bowed, his palms politely joined, then stood before the Lord devotedly. To the reply. And so the Blessed One, Lord Shakyamuni, the best of men, the fully awakened one, extending from his mouth his handsome tongue, a tongue unmatched in both its breadth and length, displaying a gentle smile to living beings, a smile that fills the threefold worlds with light, that tames the enemy, the 4 maras, that ends unwanted birth in all 3 forms. His voice melodious like that of Brahma, completely filling all the triple world, replied as follows to the Lord of Secrets, to Vajrapani, strongest of the strong: that you, abounding in supreme compassion, and aiming to assist all living beings, are willing and prepared to hear from me this evil-quelling, purifying chanting, the chanting of the names so filled with meaning, of Manjushri's embodiment of wisdom. How truly excellent, O Vajradhara! How excellent of you, O Vajrapani! And so I shall, O Master of all secrets, reveal just that to you most splendidly. With single-minded focus, listen well. How excellent, responded Vajrapani. So truly excellent, O Blessed One. 3. The survey of the 6 families. And then the Blessed One, Lord Shakyamuni, surveyed in full the family great with mantras, the family of the Vidyas and the mantras, the family that is threefold by its nature, the family of and yet beyond the world, the family great in brightening the world, the foremost family of Mahamudra, and so the family great with great illusionists. 4. The stages of awakening according to illusion's net. And then about the Lord of Speech he spoke these verses, which include 6 kingly mantras, which manifest from non-duality, which bear the quality of non-arising. A, I, U, E, O, A, Stito, Hridi. Jana, Mirtir, Aham, Buddha, Nam, Triya, Vartinam. Om, Vaja, Tishna, Dukkha, Cheda, Prajna, Jana, Murtaya, Jana, Kaya, Vagisvara. Arapatsanaya Te Nama. 5. The Great Vajradhatu Mandala. And so he is the Blessed One, the Buddha, awakened fully, born of the letter A. He is the letter A, the foremost phoneme, supreme most syllable with meaning great. Arising from great vital force, unborn, beyond expression based on words or speech, the foremost cause of every form of speech, the shining forth of every kind of language. Great peace who takes the form of great passion, producing bliss in every sentient being. Great feast who takes the form of great anger, great enemy of every mental poison. Great feast who is by nature great delusion, delusion's vanquisher for deluded minds. Great feast who is in essence great fury, great adversary to all furiousness. Great feast who takes the form of great desire, who vanquishes desire in all forms. He is great carnal lust, he is great bliss, he is great happiness, he is great joy. With great appearance, bearing form supreme, with great complexion marked by great physique, with great renown, the great munificent one, his mandala voluminous and great, the bearer of the mighty sword of wisdom, the foremost goad for taming great afflictions, possessing great renown, his glory great, his brightness great, his luster most supreme. Most wise upholder of the great illusion, fulfiller of the great illusion's aims, enraptured by the great illusion's rapture, the great illusionist, the foremost lord of great munificence, supreme upholder of great discipline, intense supporter of great tolerance, with valor rooted in great diligence, samadhi resting through great meditation, endowed with bodies flowing from great wisdom, both great in strength and great in skillful means, a brimming ocean filled with vows and knowledge, by nature great in kindness, limitless, the foremost mind enriched by great compassion, of great insight, of great intelligence, great dexterous one with methods ever great, commanding powers and great miracles, with driving force supreme with speed unmatched, renowned great lord of foremost majesty, most valorous owing to his great might, destroying the massive mountain of becoming, unyielding, holding strong a massive Vajra, great terrifying Lord, the great cool one, provoking fear in great and daunting creatures, protector as the greatest of all Vidyas, a guru as the greatest of all mantras, traversing well the Mayana's path, himself the Mayana's foremost way. Everybody has tea? May we offer the tea? Om Ahum, Om Ahum, Om Ahum. Lama Sangye Lama Chode Shin Lama Gedunde Gungi Polama Te Guru is Buddha, Guru is Dharma, Guru is also Sangha. Guru is the creator of all happiness. To all Gurus I make this offering. So let's continue reading, and you can pause whenever you need to drink. To page 10. 6. The wisdom of the Immaculate Dharmadhatu. He is Mahavairochana, the Buddha, great sage, observing great intensive silence, arising from the great mantra way. He is the heart, the great mantra way. Accomplished in the 10 paramitas, having the 10 paramitas as home, in whom the 10 paramitas are pure, for whom the 10 paramitas are means. Protector reigning over all 10 grounds, residing steadily on all 10 grounds, made pure in nature by the tenfold knowledge, maintaining purity through tenfold knowledge, with tenfold forms intent on tenfold content, with tenfold strength, pervasive Lord of sages, achieving every aim for every being, endowed with tenfold mastery supreme, beginningless, complexity devoid, by nature pure, reality in essence, unwavering, a speaker of the truth, with speech and actions perfectly aligned. A teacher of the non-dual truth, non-dual, atop reality's most lofty peak, with selflessness his world wildest roar, instilling fear in deer-like misled seekers, with journeys fruitful, traveling everywhere, as swift as thought in all Tathagatas, a victor, slayer of foes, triumphant lord, a universal king with forces great, assembly head, instructor for assemblies, assembly lord, assembly chief, the ruler, most influential, bearing precious burdens, not other bound, his way the greatest way, Lord of speech, the master of expression, most skilled in words, adept with language truthful, with boundless words, the teacher of the truth, providing teachings on the fourfold truth, not coming back, not turning round, Rhino, the leader of the Pratyeka Buddhas, gone forth by going forth in different ways, the single cause of all great elements, Arat, Bhikshu, defilements exhausted, devoid of passion, master of the senses, arrived at comfort, met with security, for he, having cooled down, is free from stains. Equipped in full with knowledge and its base, a Sugata, best knower of the world, not thanking me, not clinging unto mine, established in the system of the two truths, upon the edge of cyclic life far shore, with deeds accomplished resting on the bank, emerging from untainted lone awareness, with sword-like insight ever penetrating, the sun, the Dharma King, the noble Dharma, supreme illuminator of the world, the Dharma Lord, the sovereign of the Dharma, the teacher of the path to excellence, accomplishing all goals, fulfilling aims, completely free from wants of any kind, bereft of thought, a non-depleting source, the Dharma source, supreme beyond decay, enriched by merit, merit's gathering, unique great wisdom, wisdom, wisdom rich, aware of what exists and what does not, while gathering the twofold gathering, eternal yogin, king of everywhere, the object in the mind of concentration, the master of intelligent reflection, for by oneself alone is he experienced, immovable, the ultimate beginning, the holder of the 3 enlightened bodies. The Buddha formed of 5 embodiments, the omnipresent made of 5 wisdoms, his diadem with 5 awakened ones, with all 5 eyes maintaining non-attachment, the great progenitor of all the Buddha's eminent and foremost son, arising from the world of true insight, the sourceless Dharma source, existent ending, comprised of Vajras, wholly dense and firm, the newborn sovereign ruler of the world, emerging from the sky, the self-arisen, a massive blaze of knowledge and of insight, illuminating beacon of great light, a lamp of wisdom shining brilliantly, a light for beings, a lantern unto wisdom, with energy supreme, most radiant, the Vidya King, the greatest mantra's Lord, the Mantra King, achieving noble aims, the great Ushnisha, marvelous Ushnisha, the Lord of space, revealer of all things, the best embodiment of every Buddha, that is the joy of every living being, creator, manifesting varied forms, great sage, deserving praise, deserving worship, a mantra born unto the triple family, upholding mantras of the foremost pledge, the greatest bearer of the triple gem, who teaches all 3 peerless vehicles, with snare unfailing, most victorious, the snatcher ever great, the Vajra snare, the Vajra hook, the snare of excellence. 7. The mirror-like wisdom. Called Vajrabhairava, he is terrific, 6-faced, the king of anger, hideous, 6-eyed, 6-armed, the ever-powerful, bearing his terrible fangs, a skeleton, hala hala, 100 faces proud, the Yama killer, ruling obstacles, instilling fear with Vajra impetus, the Vajra-hearted, famous for his Vajra, with belly large with Vajras of illusion, the Vajra-born, the sovereign of the Vajra, akin to space, his core comprised of Vajras, unmoving, haughty with his single dreadlock, his clothes an elephant's raw hide, still moist. The great terrific one who cries ha ha, who screams he he, instilling fervent fear. His laugh a screeching laugh, a booming laugh, he is the Vajra laugh, the mighty howl. He is the noble Sattva Vajrasattva, the Vajra's sovereign lord, the highest bliss, the Vajra's wrathfulness, the highest joy, intoning hums of Vajra Humkara, with Vajra arrows serving as his weapon, his sword comprised of Vajras slashing all, upholding every Vajra, Vajra bearing, with just a single Vajra ending strife, with eyes like Vajra fire, truly dreadful, with hair that's like a Vajra set ablaze, immersion of the Vajra, great immersion, with eyes like Vajra's eyes 100-fold. Vajra hairs that sprout upon his body, his unique figure marked by Vajra hairs, with nails advancing, Vajras at their tips, with skin that's solid like a Vajra's core. The splendid master donning Vajra garlands, adorned with Vajra fashion ornaments, with booming voice, his laughter crying ha ha, 6-syllable producing Vajra rumbles. Great Manjushri sounds supremely loud, a roar unique unto the threefold world, the voice that reaches every bound of space, preeminent all voice endowed. 8. The wisdom of discernment. He is a being whose fully realized truth, reality its peak and selflessness, supreme in propagating emptiness, unspoken, teaching both the deep and vast, the Dharma conch emitting piercing sound, the Dharma gong with lasting resonance, arriving at unbounded liberation. He is the Dharma drum in all directions, without a form, with handsome forms supreme, replete with forms diverse, comprised of mind, with splendor shining through his every form, with all reflections under his control, invincible, renowned as Lord Supreme, the Lord Supreme who rules the threefold world, abiding on the noble's lofty path, great source of flourishing the Dharma crown, with youthful form unique unto all worlds, the elder senior father of all beings, adorned with 32 auspicious marks, most beautiful, most handsome in all worlds. The teacher teaching mundane good and knowledge, the teacher to all beings most confident, the world's most trusted guide, protector, savior, the refuge unsurpassed, the guardian, with rich enjoyments filling all of space, the knowledge ocean of omniscient beings, while smashing through the shell of ignorance and breaking through the cage of cyclic life, the thorough coroller of intense affliction, arriving at samsara's opposite shore, his crown, the crown of wisdom consecration, his ornaments comprising perfect Buddhas, the soother of the pain of threefold pain, the ender of the trio, ending free, arriving at the threefold liberation, completely free of every obscuration, having achieved equality skylight, beyond the stains of every last affliction, aware of timelessness in all three times, most eminent amongst all sentient beings, the crown amongst those crowned with noble virtues, completely free from every kind of substrate, established firmly on the path of space, a splendid wish-fulfilling jewel in hand, the best of all that's precious, omnipresent, great wish-fulfilling tree, most plentiful, the greatest of all great auspicious vases, fulfilling the aims of living beings adore, an ally most beloved to all creatures, aware of times, the omnipresent knower of the pleasures, upholding pledges, conscious of occasions, awake to varied aptitudes in beings, with expertise in threefold liberation, with virtues, knowing Dharma, auspicious source of all auspiciousness, of all auspicious things the most auspicious, great splendor, glory, good, most prosperous, great reassurance, foremost celebration, great joyousness, the highest form of pleasure, abundance, reverence, action venerable, great happiness, the noble Lord of splendor, the greatest granter of all wishes wished for, the highest source of refuge granting, the fearsome enemy of potent danger, alleviating danger in all forms, with tufts of hair, with plumes of luscious hair, with matted locks, cord tied, 5-faced with 5 hair tufts, his head well crowned, his head adorned with garlands of 5 strands, upholding great observances, head shaven, the foremost of observances, chaste student, with great austerities perfected fully, is the greatest bather Gautama, a Brahman, knower of Brahman, arrived in full at Brahman nirvana, awakening its branches, liberation, release, complete tranquility, quiescence, nirvana, peacefulness, tranquility, approaching graceful entry to nirvana, the culmination ending pain and pleasure, the state devoid of passion, free from substrates, beyond defeat, unmanifest, unmatched, not making manifest appearance free, pervasive, timeless, fully omnipresent, minute, beyond defilement, seed free, unstained, devoid of passion, passionless, controlling humors, free from every illness, by nature most awake and fully awake, omniscient, knowing everything, supreme. Beyond reality is consciousness, pristine awareness bearing non-dual form, beyond conceptualization, effort-free, acting as Buddhas do in every age. The Buddha, endless and beginningless, the Buddha at the start, devoid of sequence, with wisdom as his only eye, unstained, Tathagata with wisdom as his body, sovereign of all language, great debater, the king of discourse, best of orators, the best and greatest of communicators, the unassailable, the lion of speech, with universal vision, true delight, with fire garlands handsome to behold, the endless knot, most radiant, great luster, with shining rays and hands providing light, the best and foremost of all great physicians, unequal in removing thorns of pain, a tree providing medicine for all, a foe opposing every malady, the lovely crowning jewel of all three worlds, the cluster of the stars most glorious, the end of space in all thin directions, the hoisting high of Dharma's victory flag, sharing one large umbrella with the world, with love and kindness as mandala, the celebrated lotus lord of dance, pervasive with his precious parasol, the blazing energy of all the Buddhas, with bodies fully shared by all the Buddhas, the highest union formed with all the Buddhas, the single teaching taught by all the Buddhas, most glorious Vajraratna's blessing, the highest sovereign lord of Sarvaratna, the king supreme of Sarvalokeshvara, the lord on high of Sarva Vajradhara, the quintessential mind of Sarva Buddha, residing in the mind of every Buddha, the greatest body born by every Buddha, the lovely speech enriching every Buddha, the scorching brightness from the Vajra sun, with stainless luster from the Vajra moon, great passion of the passionless in others, with multicolored rays that brightly blaze, the perfect Buddha's perfect Vajra posture, retaining for all beings the Buddha's Dharma, the lotus Buddha's celebrated son, the knowledge treasure for the omniscient, the sovereign king controlling all illusions, the foremost master of the Buddha's spells, called Vajratishna, sword supreme mighty, completely pure, the highest syllable, atop pain's remedy, the Mahayana, with Vajra Dharma as mighty weapon, with Vajra depth renowned as Chenrezig, with Vajra thought aware of how things are, perfecting all perfections perfectly, adorned by all the grounds of bodhisattvas, the selfless of pure phenomena, with luster that is moonlight unto knowledge, with great endeavors as illusory nets, the foremost master ruling every endowed in full with every Vajra posture, completely furnished with all wisdom bodies, completely good with intellect supreme, the embryo of earth sustaining beings, great embryo from which all Buddhas form, with emanation circles most diverse, the highest nature of all entities, supportive of the nature of all things, with goals for all, with dharmas unarisen, supportive of the nature of all dharmas, with full awareness of phenomena, in but an instant as the wisest stage, with vivid realization of all dharmas, he is the sage, the greatest intellect, the vanquisher of hosts of evil spirits, unwavering, completely pure in nature, grasping the wakefulness of perfect Buddhas, the direct realization of all Buddhas. He is the flame of wisdom luminous. 9. The wisdom of equality. The great fulfiller of desired aims, the purifier of all evil states, the greatest of all living beings' protector, the earnest liberator of all creatures, unrivaled knight in battle with afflictions, humiliating ignorance his foe, the celebrated mind of amorousness, endowed with forms heroic and repulsive, the dancer moving to and fro, his hundreds of lengthy arms while setting down his stride, the dancer spreading through the whole of space and filling it with Srimat's 100 arms, stood tall atop the surface of the earth, the sole of just one foot pervading all, stood tall atop the summit of the world, the nail of his big toe suppressing all, whose aim is one, whose aim is non-dual Dharma, whose aim is ultimate beyond destruction, whose mind consists in groups of consciousness, with varied objects, forms, and cognizance, amused with every object of existence, a mind of passion, loving emptiness, transcending worldly passion and the like, with great enjoyment for the threefold world, with fair complexion, white like pristine clouds, with radiance like beams from autumn moons, with luster rivaling the morning suns, with nails emitting light of crimson red, with handsome crown has sterling sapphires, whose hair has tips of sapphire deep blue, with glory from the light of his great jewel, adorned with emanations of the Buddhas, the shaker of 100 worldly realms, his strength the four miraculous powers, reality with mindfulness supreme, samadhi king of fourfold mindfulness, infused with scents from bloom on Bodhi's branches, an ocean of Tathagata virtues, with knowledge of the Eightfold Path's true way, with knowledge of the path of perfect Buddhas, the great attachment of all living beings, attachment free, comparable to space, with springing up in every creature's mind, he is for every being as swift as mind, aware of all the aptitudes of beings, while captivating every creature's mind, with insight into aggregated natures, himself with fully purified aggregates, atop the peak of every going forth, most skilled in going forth in every way, established in all paths of going forth, the teacher of all forms of going forth, uprooting all becoming with 12 links, endowed with purity in all 12 forms, is formed the way of fourfold noble truth, with realization of the eightfold knowledge, with meaning of the truths in 12-fold form, aware of suchness in its 16 forms, with true awakening in 20 forms, awakened fully, knowing all supreme, dispatching countless sets of some 10 million, embodiments of emanating Buddhas, the final realization of all moments, who knows each moment's object for all minds, and manifesting for the sake of beings, with means derived from varied vehicles, gone forth by way of all three vehicles, remaining in the single vehicle's fruit, with purified afflicted spheres at heart, annihilating every karmic sphere, arrived atop dry land from flooding oceans, emerging from yoga's perilous dark grove, released from general, minor, and complete afflictions and their latent tendencies, with insight, means, and foremost empathy, achieving fruitful aims for living beings, abiding object-free through all perceptions, with consciousness as object with cessation, with every being the object of his mind, with knowledge that's the mind of all the Buddhas, residing in the mind of every being, having become their mind's equality, and satisfying the mind of every being, he is for every being great inner joy. Confusion-free regarding points of doctrine, completely free from error in all its forms. His thinking free of doubt, his object threefold, his object all, three properties by nature. Throughout 3 times the content of 5 skandhas, discerning to each and every moment, awakening but a single moment, his basic nature equal to all Buddhas. With body bodiless, the best of bodies, with realization of the peak of bodies, displaying his form in every possible way, he is the greatest stone, the precious gem. 10. The wisdom of performing actions. What all the perfect Buddhas are to know, the Buddha's unsurpassed awakening, devoid of syllables yet born of mantra, arising from great mantra's threefold family, the father to the meaning of all mantras, the greatest Bindu, void of all syllables, with 5 great syllables, great empty one, 100 syllables, devoid of Bindu, endowed with every form, yet free from form, supporting half of 16 Bindus, transcending every grouping, void of members, sustaining Dhyana's fourth and final peak, aware of Dhyana's each and every aspect, with knowledge of Samadhi's types and families, the best of bodies, body of Samadhi, the sovereign king of all enjoyment bodies, the best of bodies, emanation body, the heir to emanations of the Buddhas, with varied emanations everywhere, while benefiting all, however needed, the sovereign of the gods, the god of gods, Asura Lord, the ruler of immortals, the king of deities, the god's guru, the highest lord of pramatas, pramata, emerged from cyclic life's imposing forest, the single teacher, guru for all beings, in every well-known world, in all directions, the eminent bestower of the Dharma, concealed by armor made of loving kindness, well shielded by the shield of equity, with wisdom sword in hand, with bow and arrow, concluding war with ignorance and kleshas, the Mara's enemy and tamer hero, eliminating threats from all 4 Maras, defeating all the armies of the Maras, a guide for living beings, the perfect Buddha, deserving homage, worthy of respect, deserving reverence, always honorable, deserving worship, worthy of regard, the highest Guru, ever venerable, traversing all 3 worlds in just one stride, his step extending past the bounds of space, with knowledge of the 3, well-versed and pure, with 6-fold higher knowledge and recall, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, with power great, transcending worldly life, perfected by his excellence of insight, now unified with insight's highest nature. The whole aware of self, aware of other, for fit for all, he is the best of men, surpassing all to which he is compared, supreme most lord of knowing and what's known, the foremost master of imparting Dharma, who shows the meaning of the fourfold seal, the most revered amongst all living beings, engaged in going forth on all three paths, with glory purified by ultimate truth, most fortunate within the threefold world, the celebrated source of all endowments, supreme among the glorious Manjushri. 11. Praise for the wisdom of the five Tathagatas. Homage to you, boon granter, best of Ajas. O summit of existence, homage to you. Homage to you, whose source is emptiness. O Buddha's awakening, homage to you. O passion of the Buddhas, homage to you. Desire of the Buddhas, I pay you homage. O love of every Buddha, homage to you. The joy of all the Buddhas, I pay you homage. O smile of every Buddha, homage to you. The laugh of all the Buddhas, I pay you homage. O speech of every Buddha, homage to you. The heart of all the Buddhas, I pay you homage. Arisen from non-being, homage to you. Homage to you, arisen from the Buddhas. Arisen from the sky, homage to you. Homage to you, born of pristine wisdom. O net of illusion, homage to you. Homage to you, the Buddha's spectacle. Homage to you, the everything of all. O body of wisdom, homage to you. Om Sarva Dharma Bhava Sabhava Vishuddha Vajra Prakriti Parishuddha Sarva Dharma Ya Uta Sarva Tathagata Janakaya Manjushri Parishuddhi Tam Upadayati Sarva Tathagata Hridayam Hara Hara Om Hum Pri Bhagavan Janamurti Vagishvar Mahavakta Sarva Dharma Gaganamala Suparishuddha Dharma Dapto Jana Garba Then Vajradhara, ever glorious, most pleased and satisfied, with folded palms, prostrated to the Buddha, noble guard, the Blessed One, the Lord Tathagata, and with a host of other Vajrapanis of varied forms, the lords of Goyakas, sublime protectors, noble wrathful kings, he then exclaimed this effervescent praise. Protector, we rejoice, how excellent what you have clearly taught. Through your our lofty mission, which leads us to a true and full awakening. And so the aims of helpless mundane beings who seek the fruits of perfect liberation, just as is taught in the Maya Jala, is the noble path that leads to excellence, with largeness, vastness, and profundity, with meaning great, achieving beings' aims. Justice comprise every Buddhist sphere. Justice is taught by all awakened ones. So we can rejoice for a moment in Rinpoche's amazing qualities. We can see from this text that we just saw the very surface of the qualities of the Buddha qualities that Rinpoche showed us, the incredible actions of his body, speech, and mind. So we think how fortunate we are to have met the Buddha in a so-called ordinary form. One we're able to perceive, one we're able to hear, to communicate with. Rinpoche reminds us and again that the Guru is the Buddhas of the 3 times in 10 directions manifesting in this particular form in order to guide us particular sentient beings in just the very way that is suitable for us. How fortunate we were, how fortunate we are. How fortunate we will be again to meet with Rinpoche again. So next we're going to do the King of Prayers on page 156 in the Kopan Prayer Book, page 156. So maybe we can have our tea, if you haven't had your tea. 45 we finish it?
Yeah.
Seems to be all the people now.
No, because they will come into prayers later, so they're paying homage now, and
That's
then
nice,
they will come
okay.
into prayers, the young nuns.
Sweet. It's very sweet. King of Prayers. I bow down to you, full Arya Manjushri. You lions among humans gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions, to all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every atom are Buddhas numberless as atoms, each amidst a host of Bodhisattvas. I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way. Infinite oceans of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice. I sing the breathtakingly excellence of Buddhas, and celebrate all of you gone to bliss. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling light and sublime incense, I offer to you, victorious ones. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array, I offer to you, victorious ones. With transcendent offerings peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I have done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and confusion, all these I openly lay bare before you. I lift up my heart and rejoice in all positive potential of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers, hearers still training, and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request, you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for aeons numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight positive potential I may have created, by paying homage, offering, and acknowledging my faults, rejoicing and requesting that Buddhas stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for full awakening. May you Buddhas now living in the worlds of 10 directions, and all you gone to freedom in the past accept my offerings. May those not yet arisen quickly perfect their minds, awakening as fully enlightened ones. May all worlds in 10 directions be entirely pure and vast. May they be filled with bodhisattvas surrounding Buddhas gathered beneath the Bodhi tree. May as many beings as exist in 10 directions be always well and happy. May all samsaric beings live in accord with the Dharma, and may their every Dharma wish be fulfilled. Remembering my past lives and all varieties of existence, may I practice the Bodhisattva way, and thus in each cycle of death, migration, and birth, may I always abandon the householder's life. Then following in the footsteps of all the Buddhas, and perfecting the practice of Bodhisattva, may I always act without error or compromise, with ethical discipline faultless and pure. May I teach the Dharma in the language of gods, in every language of spirits and nagas, of humans and of demons, in the voice of every form of being. May I be gentle-minded, cultivating the 6 paramitas, and never forget bodhicitta. May I completely cleanse without omission every negativity and all that obscures this awakening mind. May I traverse all my lives in the world, free of karma, afflictions, and interfering forces, just as the lotus blossom is undisturbed by the water's waves, just as the sun and moon move unhindered through the sky. May I use the suffering in the lower realms and in the many directions and dimensions of the universe. May I guide all wanderers in samsara to the pure bliss of awakening, and be of worldly benefit to them as well. May I practice constantly for aeons to come, perfecting the activities of awakening, acting in harmony with the various dispositions of beings, showing the ways of bodhisattva. May I always have the friendship of those whose path is like mine, and with body, words, and also mind, may we practice together the same aspirations and activities. May I always meet a spiritual mentor and never displease that excellent friend who deeply wishes to help me and expertly teaches the Bodhisattva way. May I always directly see the Buddhas, masters encircled by Bodhisattvas, and without pause or discouragement for aeons to come, may I make extensive offerings to them. May I hold within me the Buddha's genuine Dharma, illuminate everywhere the teachings that awaken, embody the realizations of a Bodhisattva, and practice ardently in all future aeons. While cycling through all states of existence, may I become an endless treasure of good qualities, skillful means, wisdom, samadhi, and liberating stabilizations, gathering limitless pristine wisdom and positive potential. On one atom I shall see Buddha fields numberless as atoms, inconceivable Buddhas among bodhisattvas in every field, practicing the activities of awakening. Perceiving this in all directions, I dive into an ocean of Buddha fields, each an ocean of 3 times Buddhas in the space of a wisp of hair. So I too will practice for an ocean of aeons. Thus I am continually immersed in the speech of the Buddhas, expression that reveals an ocean of qualities in one word, the completely pure eloquence of all the Buddhas, communication suited to the varied tendencies of beings. With strength of understanding, I plunge into the infinite enlightened speech of the Dharma, of all Buddhas in 3 times gone to freedom, who continually turn the wheel of Dharma methods. I shall experience in one moment such vast activity of all future aeons, and I will enter into all aeons of the 3 times in but a fraction of a second. In one instant I shall see all those awakened beings, past, present, and future lions among humans, and with the power of the illusion-like stabilization, I will constantly engage in their inconceivable activity. I shall manifest upon one single atom the ray of pure lands present, past, and future. Likewise I shall enter the ray of pure Buddha fields in every direction without exception. I shall enter the very presence of all my guides, those lights of this world who are yet to appear, those sequentially turning the wheels of complete awakening, those who reveal nirvana, final perfect peace. May I achieve the power of swift magical emanation, the power to lead to the great vehicle through every approach, the power of always beneficial activity, the power of love pervading all realms, the power of all surpassing positive potential, the power of supreme knowledge unobstructed by discrimination, and through the powers of wisdom, skillful means, and samadhi, may I achieve the perfect power of awakening. Purifying the power of all contaminated actions, crashing the power of disturbing emotions at their root, diffusing the power of interfering forces, I shall perfect the power of the Bodhisattva practice. May I purify an ocean of worlds, may I free an ocean of beings, may I clearly see an ocean of Dharma, may I realize an ocean of pristine wisdom, may I purify an ocean of activities, may I fulfill an ocean of aspirations, may I make offerings to an ocean of Buddhas, may I practice without discouragement for an ocean of aeons. To awaken fully through this Bodhisattva way, I shall fulfill without exception all the diverse aspirations of the awakening practice of all Buddhas gone to freedom in the 3 times everywhere. In order to practice exactly as the wise one, called Samantabhadra, all-embracing good, the elder brother of the sons and daughters of the Buddhas, I completely dedicate all this goodness. Likewise may I dedicate just as a skillful Samantabhadra, with pure body, speech, and mind, pure actions, and pure Buddha fields, to rise to the aspirations of Manjushri for this Bodhisattva practice of all-embracing good, to perfect these practices without discouragement or pause in all future aeons. May my pure activities be endless, my good qualities boundless, and through abiding in immeasurable activity, may I actualize infinite emanations. Limitless is the end of space. Likewise, limitless are living beings. Thus limitless are karma and afflictions. May my aspirations reach be limitless as well. One may offer to the Buddhas all wealth and adornments of infinite worlds in 10 directions, and one may offer during aeons numberless as atoms of the world, even the greatest happiness of gods and humans. But whoever hears this extraordinary aspiration and longing for highest awakening gives rise to faith just once, creates far more precious positive potential. Those who make this heartfelt aspiration for the Bodhisattva way will be free of all lower rebirths, free of harmful companions, and quickly see Amitabha infinite light. And even in this very human life, they will be nourished by happiness and have all conducive circumstances. Without waiting long, they will become like Samantabhadra himself. Those who give voice to this extraordinary aspiration will quickly and completely purify the 5 boundless harmful actions created under the power of ignorance. Blessed with supreme knowledge, excellent body, family, attributes, and appearance, they will be invincible to vast interfering forces and misleading teachers, and all the 3 worlds will make offerings. Going quickly to the noble Bodhi tree, and sitting there to benefit sentient beings, subduing all interfering forces, they will fully awaken and turn the great wheel of Dharma. Have no doubt that complete awakening is a fully ripened result, comprehended only by a Buddha, of holding in mind by teaching, reading, or reciting this aspiration of the Bodhisattva practice. In order to train just like the hero Manjushri who knows reality as it is, and just like Samantabhadra as well, I completely dedicate all this goodness just as they did. With that dedication which is praised as greatest by all the Buddhas gone to freedom in the 3 times, I too dedicate all my roots of goodness for the attainments of the Bodhisattva practice. When the moment of my death arrives, by eliminating all obscurations and directly perceiving Amitabha, may I go immediately to Sukhavati, pure land of great joy. having gone to Sugavati, may actualize the meaning of these aspirations, fulfilling them all without exception, for the benefit of beings for as long as this world endures. Born from extremely beautiful superlative lotus, in this joyful land, the Buddha's magnificent mandala, may I receive a prediction of my awakening directly from the Buddha Amitabha. Having received a prediction there, may I create vast benefit for beings throughout the 10 directions, with 1 billion emanations by the power of wisdom. Through even the small virtue I have accumulated, by offering this prayer of the Bodhisattva practice, may all the positive aspirations of beings be fulfilled in an instant. Through creating limitless positive potential, by dedicating this prayer of Samantabhadra's deeds, may all beings drowning in this torrent of suffering enter the presence of Amitabha. Through this king of aspirations, which is the greatest of the sublime, helping infinite wanders in samsara, through the accomplishments of the scripture dazzling with Samantabhadra's practice, may suffering realms be utterly empty of all things. So now we're going to recite the prayers for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. So we can think of all the merit that we've created by doing these prayers. Even just reciting one would create inconceivable merit, but we recited many very important prayers. Recited them from our hearts, reciting them with real sincere wish to transform our minds into bodhicitta and the wisdom realizing emptiness, and to be able to follow in the footsteps of our holy Guru and become a perfect guide for all beings. And then we take that merit and combine it with all our past merit, not only the merit created in this life, but in all our past lives. All the merit we've been creating in this life. All the merits we'll go on to create in this life and our future lives. And then we combine that with all the past, present, future merit of all the Buddhas. So even the merit created by one Buddha is inconceivable. So imagine the numberless Buddhas creating inconceivable amounts of merit in the past, creating more merit now, and creating inconceivable amounts of merit in the future. And then we combine these merits with also the merits of all sentient beings, past, present, and future, including all the merits of the Bodhisattvas. The Bodhisattvas create merit in every moment, with every in-breath, every out-breath. So we're going to dedicate all this merit for the swift return of Rinpoche. The Rinpoche may be born soon, be recognized quickly, be given all the conditions to once again become a perfect guide. We dedicate also that all of us may have go on to create the perfect karma to meet with Rinpoche again and be guided by him in whatever form he takes, and in whatever form we take in our future lives. May we always meet with him, be guided by him, receive his teachings, his guidance, receive vows and oral transmissions, tantric commentaries, sutra teachings, until we too ourselves achieve the perfect state of enlightenment. Peerless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Losang father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make request. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and from other living beings, who suddenly departed to peace, what a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels, and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may a smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. Page 9. Patient in bearing the hardships of spreading the teachings of the Muni in general, and the teachings of victorious Jamgon Tsongkhapa in hundreds of directions, Lord of Dharma holding the 3 vows and wearing saffron robes, please quickly return as the glory of the peerless teachings. You held the teachings of explanation and practice with great asceticism, unable to bear that transmigrate beings are confused by the darkness of suffering. Through your great loving kindness, you skillfully led them to happiness. Unparalleled Son of the teachings, please return quickly. Beautified by the ornament of supreme patience, increasing the practice of the supreme authentic teachings of the victorious one, through listening, reflection, and meditation, guide of all transmigrate beings along the perfect path, true and perfect pure Guru, please return quickly. Guru, think of me. Guru, consider me. Most gracious root Guru, care for me. Most gracious root Guru, do not deprive us of your compassionate refuge. Listen and consider this heartfelt prayer made by a tormented disciple. Guru, embodiment of the Buddhas of the 3 times, please bless me. You may rest in all-pervading great bliss, equipoised within the dhatu of unimpeded luminosity. Yet the playful dance of your loving compassion emanates in myriad ways. The time has come for the return of the swift appearance of your magical wisdom, the Rupakaya, and for you to care for us once again with your affectionate compassion. Arise, arise, arise from the Dharmakaya. I invoke you, I call upon you, I implore you on behalf of all beings. Do not rest in Kechara or other pure realms. Rather, to benefit the Buddha's teachings and all living beings, swiftly return to the southern continent to spread the Buddha Dharma of study and realization. Quickly return to guide us poor wretched beings. Such is the desperate cry of us, your disciples. Return so that we may actually behold your presence and receive the blessings of your body, speech, and mind. All violations, errors, mistakes, and broken samaya that we have made in relation to your body, speech, and mind and spontaneous activity, through our being confused and conceiving things in erroneous ways, we confess within the luminous emptiness of your 3 kayas. Of everything auspicious, the supreme auspiciousness, may there be auspiciousness of emptiness and compassion. May there be auspiciousness of a timely meeting between master and disciples. Through the force of the truth of unchanging sadness, may the unmistaken incarnation return quickly. This lament was made by me, a Dakini with pure faith and samaya, her eyes filled with tears of sorrow. May these wishes of a beggar woman be fulfilled through the blessings of the deities of the 3 roots. Perception, its object, and the perceiver, all dissolve within the expanse, the blissful clarity of suchness. Ah. So we'll just do a few dedication prayers.
Maybe we can say that if it's your first time here, you're welcome to circumambulate while we do the prayers.
Okay, did everybody hear? You're welcome to, especially if it's your first time here, you're welcome to circumambulate Rinpoche's holy body. And we'll continue just dedicating. Okay, so we're on page 137. So we won't do many of these dedications, just essential ones. So again, we remember that we're dedicating the past, present, future merits of ourselves, of all Buddhas and all sentient beings. May the precious Supreme Bodhicitta not yet born arise. May that arisen not decline, but increase more and more. Samsara and nirvana lack even an atom of inherent existence, and cause and effect independent arising are unbetraying. I seek your blessings to discern the meaning of Nagarjuna's thought, that these 2 are mutually complementary and not contradictory. Then we dedicate all our 3-time merits and all the 3-time merits of all the Buddhas and all the sentient beings for the long life of His Holiness Dalai Lama. Incomparably kind and supreme Tenzin Gyatso, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, may have a long life and all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Savior of the land of snow's teachings and transmigratory beings, who extensively clarifies the path that unifies emptiness and compassion, to Lotus Holder Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And then we'll go to page 145 and seal the all of our merits by reflecting on emptiness. To the top of page 145. Due to all the past, present, and future merits collected by me, the numberless Buddhas, and the numberless sentient beings, which are completely empty of existing from their own side, may I, who am completely empty of existing from my own side, achieve the state of full enlightenment, which is completely empty of existing from its own side, and lead all sentient beings who are completely empty of existing from their own side to that state which is completely empty of existing from its own side, by myself alone, who am completely empty of existing from my own side. So then we'll do the multiplying mantras. So on page 166, actually they're not all mantras, they're mostly names of various Buddhas. We pay homage to various Buddhas by reciting their name and paying homage to them. Maybe we'll do it in English. We always seem to do it in Tibetan. To Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly complete Buddha, Vairochana, King of Light, I prostrate. To Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Samattabhadra, I prostrate. Tayata Om Panchavira Avabodhini Soha Om Duru Duru Jaya Mukhe Soha Tayata Om Panchadriva Avabodhini Soha Om Duru Duru Jaya Mukhe Soha Tayata Om Panchadriva Avabodhini Soha Om Duru Duru Jaya Mukhe Soha Tayata Om Panchadriva Avabodhini Soha Om Duru Duru Jaya Mukhe Soha Tayata Om Panchadriva Avabodhini Soha Om Duru Duru Jaya Mukhe Soha Tayata Om Panchadriva Avabodhini Soha Om Duru Duru Jaya Mukhe Soha Tayata Om Panchadriva Avabodhini Soha Om Duru Duru Jaya Mukhe Soha. To Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly complete Buddha, medicine guru, king of Vajra light, I prostrate. To Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly complete Buddha, king fully accomplishing all dedications and prayers, I prostrate. Due to the blessings of the eminent victorious ones and their sons, the truth of infallible dependent arising, and the power of my pure special attitude of taking responsibility, may all the aims of my pure prayers be accomplished. So thank you very much. I think we have some little monks. I see now little monks waiting to come in. So please pass over the books over this way. Thank you very much.